Hello, hello, hello. It is I. Call me Ian, Lord of Mission. Kidding. But I live in Mission. And I'm on a mission. Aren't we all on missions? But anyways, guys, we got a couple of good videos here. It's the same video. Okay, you can see from the the thumbnails on both of them, they're the same spot. You can see the deer there. Better in one than the other, I think, for myself. And so you're going to have different advantages through them. There's going to be something neat about doing what we're going to experience here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this one right here on top first. And then I'm going to play the other one after. And the one up on top, it's in crush enhanced coloring. The one down below is in 8mm, which is kind of quirky in a way, but I thought, well, I got it done that way, I might as well. And you can kind of see, like, I think I see the deer better in the 8mm than I do in the one. There's actually two deer there, so you might end up seeing a deer down in the right corner at one moment or something, but I'll be uploading that. So there was two deer today. There was a bear. There was two deer today. There was a single deer yesterday morning. So this was this morning. There are two deer. Was it yesterday? No, that was just now. Yep. So those were just brand new. So anyways, let me just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and a bear. So there's been 4 deer and a bear in about 4 days, maybe even 3 days. Big black bear, pretty stealthy and stuff. And as soon as I called out his name, he darted the other way, and I'm glad. Hey, Nina, how's it going? Yeah, you caught me. You happy with that, eh? Right on. So, Nina, I'm just explaining. I'm going to do these 2 videos here. You see them there? I'm going to do them in slow-mo. And because I'm going to do them in slow-mo, when we watch them afterwards, they're going to, and you put them on slow-mo, they will be on super slow-mo if you get what I'm talking about, which you study them a little bit. So I think you do. And basically what I'm referring to for people is there's movements from these guys, and it's really hard for us to pick up on them. And it takes studying and it takes learning, and some people come across it very easily. Some people can go for their driver's license in the very first day of getting their learners. Some people should be maybe even still not driving that we give driver's license to. You get the point? So we all have different kinds of skills. Eyesets are one of the abilities. Remember, different videos, different monitors give off different color things. So you can change maybe even your settings and so on and so forth. And all it takes is a moment. You hit pause somewhere on something you think should be giving you information, and then just change your contrast, your darkening, and so on and so forth. And it's going to make some things pop, whether you like it that way or not. You don't, you hit it back to reset, and you're on your way. So anyway, so we'll push the one on top first. I don't know if, well, let's just start doing it. And if I find it necessary to talk, I'll talk. So let's just hit pause here. And I'm going to hit, I don't know if it changes my color, my whatever setting there. I don't think it really adjusts anything, but I always hit that. And then, so the playback speed, yeah, let's do the super slow. And you might find me getting a little antsy and moving forward. So what I'm going to teach you guys to really look for, and so I'm going to park myself right here so you can see more what's right there. You see that? It's almost like a V. Let me go down more so it becomes like a V. Whoops. Sorry, thanks for the thumbs up, guys. So you see how that kind of comes down to a VL there, somewhere around there? Well, anyways, right in there, it doesn't mean they're right at the trees, but right there is a totem pole effect that we're getting to see. And they are, on this side is cliff. That side you're looking at is cliff, It becomes good and cliffy somewhere in the region of actually that tree, this tree. In the region is where it becomes cliffy. There's still slopage up until about the top of my head there. Okay, red dot. Okay, red dot is always my information spot. Unless I can't get up to there, unless I can't get over to the wall, I'll change it up a little bit and stuff. This wall, I can't get over to it with it either. But anyways, so yeah, so be prepared to understand there's cliff over this way. This is all continued slope, and it's probably a 50-degree slope, and then in spots where it's a higher degree. And why is that important to know? Because you have to use your eyes to help yourself find these things. We happen to be on a movement that people might realize there's a lot of there we go. That's going to be helpful for me because I look, you know, I'm kind of normal. I haven't even really even noticed. Oh, is this the one with the 2 deer? So both of them were in this set? I'm hoping I didn't slow do the video I didn't want to. But anyways, let's just go into play. Like I said, I can be talking while it's playing. So, see these spots here? What you get to do is you'll get to see, and even this light shadowing, this lighter shadow, and you can watch at my red dot and see how it's becoming a little bit different even in just our little bit of shots and stuff. Trust your mentality, people. Trust that that's not going to be how look at how much the camera is moving. Like, use my red dot as the focal point, and then let's see how much it moves. Now that is way over on the bank. In reality, that's probably about 5 or 6 feet or whatever type thing. But in reality, where we're sitting and I'm turning it for us and stuff. Hey, Case, glad you could join us. So we're looking. So Case, I'm doing this in slow-mo. You see this this shadowing there? Back in here, we're going to come to a spot. I'm just going to throw myself up in the corner and hopefully not get... Well, we do get a little bit of guys up in the trees and stuff too. That, what you do is you're kind of view hunting for them. But these trees right in there, and what you do is right above my head there, you just pick for some of those darker spots and you move in and see what you can find. But in here, anybody with... Like, this picture isn't the best. It's almost like it's almost got a little bit of smokiness to it. I think the day I was videotaping, it's just like that for whatever reason. But that's going to be a real awesome shot. And I always get that totem pole effect from him. And one of those sets of trees, I don't know, it could be always the same one. But you see right in here, 100%, they're in between those ones. I'm back too. Can I ask you something? I hope it's not stupid. You ask whatever you like. I'm just one of those people, you know, I'll do my best not to insult you and you not me, unless we take off our gloves and we decide to talk ignorantly, right? So, okay, so see all this darkness and stuff in here? See it in here and so on and so forth, all those little bit of dark spots and these ones here. When you're actually sitting in this video, like I was pointing out over there, the shadowiness of them changes. The shades and colors change. There's different reasons why that happens. And then also movements. Like you can pick out, say, that little guy right there. Whatever's going on there, I'm not saying it's just one thing. But you can constantly, as I move that little bit, like really think about how much my camera is really moving to get a 6-foot movement from that thing to have gone from up to here, 10 foot, whatever it was. Now with that, you use your common sense to realize if that shadow should build so much. And I'm going to tell you right now that shadows will not change that much in those movements. But when you're somebody over there and you got, let's just say, like maybe a laser-like perception and vision, you can move microscope, you know, and then you got the ability of moving super slow, whatever. Like we can move pretty darn slow, especially if we practice it. We could even get even slower, and we could do it in a, you know, we got, you know, Many of us could learn how to do ballet to a certain extent, learn how to do martial arts to a certain extent, ice skate to a certain extent. We're just normally got some basic in our coordination. There's no reason why we couldn't learn to actually live slower paces of life and enjoy that instead of these high-paced things where we almost don't have enough time to cook dinner for our kids and hang out with them and stuff, you know? Eventually I'll become a granddad, and probably be the same thing there. I'll probably never get to see my grandchildren because everybody's high-paced life will be just kind of zooming by, and I'll be just looking. And so around here, when it comes into this area here, you get to see a lot more of a formation of the dots. Because what we're coming to right here, see where my red dot is? That's a branch of the big, if you're familiar with my camp. And this tree, this branch right here and stuff, this is kind of the big maple trees that are right here. And so these guys, see back there and stuff, that's all back in deeper back there, or like all back right there. I think you probably get a pretty good shot there. You see good rocks over there. Let's say that. There's no good rocks over in this area. It's not like the cliffy spot over there, so you don't have to worry about getting rocks mixed up. So that looks really hot where my dot is. And then back in here and stuff, because they feel real comfortable back here. Because like I said, that's where those big trunk trees are right there, and they're close to us. And then here, some of the shadowing that goes in front of trees and stuff, try to figure out what's going on. What you think's going on with that. Could be a log, but is it floating up in the air or something? Because it's almost like that whiteness is really part of that tree. So whatever that is, it would be like it's up in the air to make that. So, and then we don't see much of a continuation, or do we? And then we see something else that we think could be a continuation. And let your mind, be the explorer like that. I mean, most of our successful people do that. And so understand that I'm always trying to somewhat give to I was going to say stupid person. That's not very nice. But the person who's just being ignorant, and just not thinking over a little hump. Because we all know the story of woke means the day before, if you get to lay on your deathbed and you actually get to fall asleep and die, then you got to understand that woke of the wokeness. So none of us are woke, right? I got to see my mom's mind and your whole body shut down and stuff, where you think you can almost see when maybe the big transformations are going on there and stuff. And what I got to see is this woman who got to be officially super woke, because she knew she was dying. She got to set up all her funeral arrangements and stuff, and not leave heavy burdens just for her husband, which was my dad, and so on and so forth. So in doing, that's all a part of her wokeness, right? And then finish it off where she just kind of goes into whatever kind of a sleep or whatever went on there. As easy or as difficult as it was in that part of her journey, she got a full attestment to it, compared to somebody who just gets slammed in a car accident or something. Their heart gets crushed, so they just turn off. Their awokeness was only as far as it was, and as deep as it was. We call it deep, but I think it's just more information, wokenness in a way, because that's all it is the honest information and the uncredible information, like the non-credible information. And that's where I think people should do. I was listening to some guy telling me a bunch of stories about different events that had gone on in the Antarctic, where there's this army base and stuff, and all it is other people's stories from their mouth, without nothing credible, really. Like, he even started to talk about that Bob with the UFO guy on Area 51. If you go and listen to his story, we got finished on that one then. And then here's the other one. which it should be immediately already on slow-mo. So this is you've seen that 8mm kind of speed, or I mean look. So I don't know if it's going to kind of mess with it at all, if it's a little too trippy, but I thought I would try it, and then people vote on it. People have done that before, so let me know. Hey, that one did give us some ideas, because remember we were talking about the spot right just momentarily ago about what this could really be and stuff, and what does it do? It looks a little darker, doesn't it? So I think this is the one where I say I was maybe picking up one of those deer better. Oh, I must have already had it going. So I didn't start this one at the beginning. Do we care about that? I'll go do back some of the beginning after this. Oh yeah, I'm going to go back to Case. So why do you all look different from one another? I know that it's real. Darn, this thing. Why do they all look different from one another? So we're already on the going back thing, which doesn't become super whatever here. So I'm going to go bam, way back. Whoops. I'm going to go bam, way back to here. How's that sound? So that's just when I'm kind of starting up. Okay. Girl saw one in the swamp and... Okay, yes. Okay, basically you're wondering about looks, eh? I'll tell you one thing that you can do is you can also go look at 2 videos of mine, and you get these unbelievable different looks if you get to see them. On the one, I believe you will. You just have to give it some faith and give it some whole heart and read my couple of comments and really put your finger towards the screen and know where you're looking and know you're looking at that spot from a certain period, and you get close to 40 seconds of the face in there and the body and different things where you get to study and see different character, but you got to give the visual. You got to be able to look and realize that if you look at the nose, it's 2 inches closer to you or something compared to the cheeks, compared to the ears. So a lot of people can't do that when they're looking at things. They kind of just see a flat object and they can't, like right now, they just, oh yeah, I see lots of beautiful trees. There's probably thousands there, isn't there? They kind of talk like that. Random, I am. Plugging through. Here I go get a drink. I'm doing a couple of videos in slow-mo here, so people can get an idea of what slow-mo will do for the character. And plus, I did this in 8mm. It's kind of goofy, but the earlier video was not quite as goofy, but it still gives some reference. And what I'm encouraging, you see my red pointer there? Encouraging us to look at these different things. Over in this area over here, you get to see, in amongst here, you get to see some actual totem piles of them and stuff. Get to see a little clutter of them in here, right in here. Oh yeah, we forgot to look at that spot in the late half of the video. Remember when I said, hey, that looked pretty good in there? Well, thank you, Case. Yeah, you gotta train your eye, no doubt, man. No doubt. And yeah, so you can kind of see some stuff's going on here, right? Because it's not like one thing. You see all these leaves here, guys, still? They take advantage of the leaves, and you can tell these are leaf trees. And you can even maybe come to a realization, we can come to a realization and stuff, when we look at the treed landscapes of mountains where they're just the wild park ones and we don't do much with them. And you can kind of see that, well, it sure looks like there's a lot of leaved trees over in this section, and a couple of veins or whatever type thing of the evergreens going this way and that way, and then maybe just a couple of different pods of evergreens throughout in a few spots where those leaving trees are and stuff. And part of that is the different ways they use the camouflage. And like for the leaving part of it, I find them that they love leaves so much, you very rarely get something to do with them, because every day you will wake up, and every night when you're going to bed even, they're shadowing and stuff what they do in here at night in our moonlight. And when you just get that certain amount of, maybe even not even moonlight, when you almost don't want much light, but the natural light that's out is nice, but you're still trying to shade your eyes, and you can even see blacker then. So don't forget to do that. Don't forget to use your hand as a little telescope. I'm telling you, it helps you focus so well if you do that, if you're just controlling the light. But then again, when you're doing that, you got to know that you're showing those guys that you're really honing in. Okay, this was the area. So right here, see right on my, here, I'm going to do this again. There we go. So see right there. I'm going to go on the other side of it. You see those almost like rock looking like things? Round things and such. Like I'm saying, in this area here, we shouldn't be seeing anything that's kind of resembling a rock. See that around that red dot? So one of the advantages of this is now you guys watch this afterwards, and you can push slow, and it'll be super slow, and then you can, if you have the capabilities to zoom in, it looks like a huge miracle. And I'll tell you, there is art to many of my filming. There's an art to my style, how I feel like I help get them to feel comfortable. You guys see what's going on all around here, right? I think this ends up being I think there's some kind of an evergreen here, We might not even really be able to tell, but I think there is. And they're just all compiled behind it and stuff, and our eyes are just not making it. Okay, so that's that. And there's this lighter tree, the big oaks are over right here. And this thing is kind of on just this little hump right here. And it's really great camouflage for them right here. And if I remember right, there's some evergreen stuff. See, you can see all this is really ripened up of greenness. A lot of greenness going right along the fence line there now. Grass is really coming up nice and bright. I've seen the farmers fertilize it. The Catholics own that. And you can see back up in here. It's interesting that we get to see so much white tree and so much white tree here, and then right all of a sudden up in that area, you kind of lose out on them. Doink. So this is another one that I'm going to be releasing here too. Oh yeah, this was the one where was only the deer in there then. So let's go like this, so I take away my darn. Go down to 0.5 slow. Just make sure quality is the best I can get. Here they're doing a lot of communication with her. At this point, I did not know there was two. My biggest focus was actually mostly about the deer. So way off to the right, way over back here, there's one there that I hadn't seen yet. And then that other video is where we get to see them. What do you mean by prolific? And so look at this, eh? So I'm giving this I'm doing a little popping up and stuff. But it was mostly about trying to pick out her language and stuff. Because I wanted to really get her in the camera and stuff. And if real hunters say that is strictly winter coat that she's losing, then that's what it is, I guess, right? But I've seen some squirrels and stuff that almost to an extent of skinning on them. in a way that when their fur grew back in those wounded spots on some of the squirrels were quite big, where I'd say almost 50%, like at least 30% of the body. And when the stuff came back, I don't know forever if it stayed a different color, but I know it grew back in different colors. And to me, it was early stages. Now, when I think back of testing, when I was looking at the squirrels, I would think only one thing, because I raised a lot of rodents and stuff too myself. So I think, so this is in the regular color, and it's the same area, a little bit higher speed. So this is the really good spot right there, where, and in amongst here, where you really get some nice totem pulling. Right in here is where I believe they do their more totem piles. Where's that deer? Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm coming in to try to find her again. There she be. Yeah, and then here's where she really keeps her attention over that way. I don't know if I have the noise on. I didn't have much speaker on there. Now I do. You might be able to hear the whistling a little bit and stuff, and dog yelps and stuff. I think mostly what they're doing it is with dog noises in this area. How do they have it? It's the dumbest thing. I'm not the best of reader, and that thing comes up. Oh yeah, you were going to tell me. So if I go like this, I think I get to bring it up. There we go. Yes, I hear you. That's what I thought. Yeah, and trying to keep them kind of in the same. Okay, there we go. How do they have baby? Is it like a deer? Oh, yeah. I'm gonna say whenever they want. You know, one or two people that do research out there that I kind of respect their ways. Litters is what is really a fairly high suspicion. Look at that right below me there and stuff. I'm amazed at it. Troop sets. Oh yeah. And doesn't that? Hey Gray, how's it going? And isn't that kind of? And it goes hand in hand with litters. You know, if I would almost say a good video. Yeah, I just got to turn those off for a second. So, yeah, right there. Anyways, or I don't have to go here. I can go videos, I think. No. I can go my videos. Is my video? No. Yeah, I gotta go play this. That's right. Or is it home? There is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this one. Right there. Because I think it'll come up pretty good. Oh yeah, that's why I wanted to do videos, because we talked about it recently, and I thought I can bring it up from there. Here we go. It's even on this front page right there, and I think we might have
other guys.
Okay, that's on those ones over there. So let's just go here. Okay, we're just coming up to them. We're gonna the volume here because we don't need that on. And I'm gonna go. I don't know. So that one says a number different. So maybe it does jump then. Playback speed. Let's go down to 25. And then off to the left over here in a moment. So we might be able to see stuff. So really watch right now, guys, and see if you see signs of little. Remember, eye reflection turn. Oh, that's not me doing that. It's me before doing that on the video, you can see. Sorry about that. Okay, we're just coming up towards her right now. Anyways, the reason why I was bringing up this video isn't necessarily to watch. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. You could watch this video. You could go into the comments and see the name of the video and stuff that's in the dog position and so on and so forth. See, I'm so surprised, guys. Look at this, 152 views. And look at a face right there for people who say that they know how to look. Body, that's the back, saying that would be front torso, leg and stuff. And that's in a little picture we're looking right there. If other people can't see it, then they don't get to see it. Me, instantly, I look at something like that, there's no way my face will not go to immediately where that red dot is right there. 100%. Those sticks are telling me information. The other highlighted looking lighted eyes are telling me information. So when I do my information, I really want to just go on. You know, this is that same bank, guys, but in a different state with so much less greens. And there you can see the leaf story that I tell you about it. And we don't get to see much of shadowing at all. Why? Because it's pretty early in the day. We get to see a little bit on just off my chin there in that line there, and so on and so forth. In that huddle there's some green stuff, if I remember back in there. That's actually kind of behind the big trees that are right there. It's pointing toward, yeah, you can tell because the hill's coming down on a slope there, and you can see the fence line, so you know it's getting lesser. So I like to throw out those things, help you understand my confirmation of things. That's such a gorgeous looking picture, isn't it, guys, in a way? I'd love to see that picture big. I don't know if that one's necessarily focused, but the one that's right around there focused, I think there's probably a lot of action in there. Maybe not action we can even pick up well, but I know there's action in there. So let's go to my, oh yeah, so we were at, let's do the home then. And like this 147,000 K. And it's one of the best, I think it might be one of the best looks that we get that is remarkably, you know, kind of, it gives the features of, it's a bipedal thing and everything, with arms and everything, 2 eyes, nose, nostrils, mouth. So it gives all this, but it doesn't give the same appearance that she would be like a Patty. But Patty also gives all this. You know what I'm saying, right? So we have such a, and I have 147,000, and it's been, I think, probably 2 months now, because I do bring that up once in a while and complain about it, because it's a complaint of the world's missing out in a way, because you should actually be almost studying it and starting to realize that this is becoming a really big deal. And I want to show you quickly, why does it do that, eh? This one. So, like this again, guys. Oh, well, for now I'm just going to do this, okay? Oops. What's going on? It's a pretty good spot to come out for you right now, because if we look at the time, I want you to try to remember this, okay? This is in this minute and 34-second video, and we come out at 6:34, okay? 12:24 to 6:34. Try not to look around at things, guys, okay? You're just going more or less center. But right now, because it's hard for me to... Not anymore. See that thing right beside me, right? Oh, I'll come over so I'm kind of touching it. Or I'm on it. See, that's the fingertip. Dang it. So sensitive. See that thing right there? Going off on that angle a little bit. As I pull this back, you'll see that thing grow, okay? Just a second. Is that my screen's dirty? There we go. Now you see how that thing there is longer. That's my thought, an index finger, okay? Now we come back further. What you're kind of seeing is actually it's the right hand, and it's pointing that direction with that finger. And so you're seeing it, some of the fingers, whether it's the index or not, you're seeing a couple of the fingers scrunched like that. And the part of the reason why I want you to know this is because there's times in this video where you get to see it like this, where it's trying to imitate more of a plant. And right now what it is, it's like I'm saying there in that shape on top of a guy's head, where you're seeing this profile. It's his right hand. He's pointing it in that direction. And at times you get to see it separated from the head. On the head, you get to see where I'll point out his snout and stuff, and you get to see it in different positioning, because right now is really cool because it almost is given an illusion or look or whatever that it's pretty broken up. So right there, and this is kind of funny because it could almost go on that theory of them changing their looks in a way or whatever type thing, but I almost think the changing of their looks is helped by the partners of the forest, their friends and stuff, climbing on hands like that, knowing they can just make little tricks of looks looking different. So I'm going to try to point something out. Red dot, you see that? That's his nostrils. That's his nose. It's like it's pointing our way a little bit. Under, you'll see this down that far, right there, can be still his chin. You'll see it be brought closer up into relation with that. Right there, you kind of hear, I'll use my pointer. Right there is the eye line coming all the way, through to there. At one point, you'll be able to see that it's like the dark of eyes like that. You know how when it's all shaded and it just looks like a bro. And then there is whatever, like a hand on top of his head. Right there, you'll see the ear and stuff. Right there, along this whole edge right there, that mist of like, oh, you almost see, like, bring that forward a little bit and understand that there's a little haze of differentness there. I'm going to just come off of it a bit. There we go. Whoops. And now you see it a little bit more. You see that haze and how it's almost following my circle a little bit and more. Now it's coming into the deeper, but this is plant in front. This is a fern in front. This is a fern right there, straight up and down. And I always refer to it as the peace sign. So let's bring him into look. I wanted you to see it out of look good. He's still kind of out of look good. His snout is kind of turned towards us, but then it's turning back maybe now. This is snout. I'll keep getting snout the whole time. Okay, I'm doing a relocate. I almost gave up filming there and I just changed my mind. When I first started doing it, this is when I did the relocate actually. And see this blackness now? So this is the big deal to me. I don't know if you remember, I said the peace sign. This is the peace sign one right there, and this one. I said that grayness of his head was here. There was a pink ear here. The hand would be here on top, and his snout and stuff here. Well, it's all changed, but still exactly in the same realm to that blackness down there, which could to do with his feet. So you might see some heads popping and stuff right here, right now and stuff. Some changing. So what I did was I came around this tree right here, and he changed his position. And now we're going to go back around the tree. See, right above, he's this blackness there. But he's hard to, there's things to see there, but it's not the same thing I was telling you about. So at one point here, like I said, we might be able to get to see when that hand comes up and looks more like a tree. I mean, like a plant in a way. Almost looks like a, just like a leaf. Let me point him out again so you know where we're looking. So this is the weirdness of them. Right there. There's that peace sign. Whoops. So now I'm going back. Fast forward there. Okay, now I'm going to go like this actually. Did I not have it on slow motion? So we're on slow. This might be actually good. So here's the hand that looks almost like a baby. You see that? You see that blackness right there? That's the eyes in their brownness. At times you'll be able to see the part in between gray through. See this little sheen there? That's off the beak of the nose, like a dog almost maybe, differencing in skin maybe, I don't know. And then here would be behind this little plantish green thing. Wait till I come back up. Is a chin right there. That's him if you're getting to see him at all. Just wait until it kind of come into a steadier hand there. I'm at this. Let me jump up here somewhere. So he's right here. There's the hand. Just so you can realize I can catch him really quick. And look, he's going to be right here. There's the hand right there. Look, that looks higher off the head right now. So here's the head. Like, this one's a pretty good focus. So if I brought my circle up right like that. Now, what you get right here is a little bit of the above the brow shine, and then the darkness is below. So that's above the brow. Following this line, his head's really close to being there. There's his, what I believe to be his right hand. So following our white line here is very close to the contour of his head. I refer to it as about the size of a 5-gallon bucket. So I believe that's a hand, so it'd just be beside his head like this, because we're looking at his left side. And then this shape coming down like that is actually very close to, like I say on the back of his head. See that as we pulled away that, see this gray of the brows right there, and it comes in with the gray on the back here. Maybe I can get my red there, yeah. So the gray of the brow right there comes in with this gray right here. Okay, you getting that? And then in amongst here, whether that's part of it or not, there seems to be like some pinkness we always get from right there on the side of them. So is it stick or ear? I've many times just point that I think it's ear. And then down here, whether this is it right now or not, I'm going to say, as a reference, it kind of looks like this, and you'll see that it comes over here, and you'll see it has 2 black dots on it at one time. And when he does his movement, if you end up being a person that studies to get his movement out of it and such, when he does his movement, lifts his hand off of his head and so on and so forth, well, this arm shifts forward, and he turns what I would suspect is his forearm, and he turns it because it does have those 2 black dots on it, and he either exposes them or unexposes them, and that's what I've gotten out of that video anyways. And this is a 12-minute long video. He's in it for a good number of the minutes. This is just something I was doing as I was coming towards before Bigfoot, because it's at 4 years and it was my goat, and I ended up coming across it again, so I changed the title of it to include it kind of with this research. So what did I call it? Excellent example of shine, and it's not a glowing energy. See, I'm trying to make people understand that I think these beings out here, theirs is a power switch. Theirs is more towards we had understanding it as glowing. It's a controlled thing. That's a pretty interesting video, and I did a breakdown on my television there and doing a breakdown my earlier days. This is when I'm just walking up near the spot. See how well I can see this? I haven't really seen. I think right now would be when I was swinging in toward the spot. Yeah, that's right, because I'm zooming now. I'm just going to try to stay out of the way. Yeah, I see stuff better. There's this ultimate... There she is right there, so I'm going to go... Right here is what I specifically want to look at. See this log right here, guys? Maybe arm wraps, head, eyes. Yeah, let's go to slow-mo. Slow-mo. I might rewind a bit. We'll see. I remember as I studied it, I felt there was a big male, maybe here somewhere. But now I bet you if I studied it, I would see amples of more information. Okay, so there she was right there. Oh no, that was something else. So here she is right there, I believe. See that right there? Under my red? It's almost like it's trying to get her head up in the picture more, right? Oh, that was a good spot to stop. There it goes, pretty good. So you can see what really looks like a black eye, what really looks like a black eye, what commonly looks like the streak in between to give us that proof of separation there in depth and darkness. What I get many, many times, and sometimes you get to see it, that lightness pronounced. You could get to see it where I was just talking about it. I'm trying to remember just the other day I was talking, and I think I was following it under the eyes and then kind of along the cheek line. And then, yeah, whatever. To me, here I almost see like is somebody sitting down here and part of her body on that side of the log. And then this is an arm, and this is the log, the stump again and stuff. And yeah, whatever's going on there, right? Let's watch this. So I'm just right over top of her there. I'm gonna get comments. Take a look at comments. This was way back in my early days. This was this was a discovery of the waterfall clan. There she is right there again. Hopefully you picked up on her. You almost get to see, like, is that turning of head? Was that mouth kind of reflection? Or was that something behind shining there? And that might be all that I... Oh, she comes back in again. This is where I suspect her to be. That log there that's sticking, the old tree stump. Oops, what's under there? Yeah, so what we're actually looking at, we're just looking at a quality off of a television. There. Here's another one where I felt like I got one of those log huggers. So I had to get the camera, and when I showed back up, it wasn't there. The marking wasn't there. So right now we're trying to find it. Or just trying to figure stuff out. They weren't near as courageous in these days. Yeah, so I'm right in that area where I see now when I look, I can tell that they're around here and stuff. Well, that might be the one right there. So this not that log coming up there. And then there's this, yeah, and then there's this tree stump right there under my dot there. Let me do this. Mine's slow-mo. So that when I stopped and I looked, I seen something black right here. I'm doing my looking and stuff, and I really honed in on it. I took in my surroundings very well. I didn't have my camera. Went back on my camera, came back, and there was no black thing on top of that log. And look, I got it dead center. You can tell that it's part of my conversation piece, but there's nothing there. So, but being here now, you know, you can kind of see different things going on, but this was back in the day when it was a lot lighter with me, how much they were willing to show themselves. But at the same time, it's all my education time. Here's the one where we get to, oh, let's do this in slow-mo. So this is the, hopefully my speaker's on, yeah. So I'm going to turn up the speaker, you guys. It might be a little loud, but realize what I'm going to do is I'm feeding the speaker back to you, I guess, but you guys can adjust yours. But so right at the very beginning here, within normal speed, about 2 minutes, 2 seconds, you get to hear, but before it, you get to hear some stuff, different sound systems, you get to pick up on it better. I'm hoping to have something really interesting through doing slow speed sound. So let's just hit it off. So mostly what you're going to be irritated by from me is it's the first day I'm using this camera, and or close to the first day, and scraping my feet, vibration coming through the pole, all that stupid stuff that I had no realization that it was going to affect the camera like that. So you got to put up with that. But at the same time, what I end up realizing is, you know, it sounds like somebody's kind of giving me shit a little bit. Like I didn't get too much from it, but I remember just going a little bit closer and, you know, like, what's up with you? And taking a stab at it in a way. I was really like, am I 100% here? Because my noise was making it so I couldn't hear them. Basically, you get to hear a couple of like this, almost like one of them at least, or a couple of them sound, I referred to them as trumpeted lion roars in a way. That's the immediate few seconds, which will be longer here, right? Because we're going in slow speed, and I think for every 2 seconds, it's about 3 seconds that really go by. For every 1 second, I think it's about 3 seconds, or almost 4 seconds or something. So I suspect beyond around 4 seconds, we might hear something kind of, and then after that, we should hear a kind of a pretty good one. Let's go. That was it. That was the first one. Here's the second one coming. See, I'm still walking. Here's your coming. My notes coming. Okay, let's do this. Let's play it real time for you. See if you guys can pick up on it, because what we're doing is we're trying to catch a sound that you can see. I'm turning now. I'm on the north side of the dike, so I'm 12 feet away at this exact moment. I end up going in English. We're going to replay this thing, and I'm going like, what's going on here and stuff. I end up walking across the dike and close it in. So as the sound grows and stuff, you got to realize that the camera and it's pointing that way. We got the other side of, that's the Fraser River there. Right where I am is an easy path splitting and stuff. I can explain that many times. Have sounds coming from right here. I'm very aware of where that sound's coming from. I end up realizing that they're it sounds like them breaking brush. I always use a certain way, like whatever, but that's kind of stuff's going on. So let's hear it for real time. And hopefully you guys just get to pick up real time that roar. So listen for 1.5 seconds and then around 3 seconds, I think. That's the second one. So let me go back. So when it says 3 seconds, actually is the first one, I believe, and it's just, but didn't get my attention. I'm that next one, you know, it's some people go, no, that's something rubbing, whatever type thing, and it's kind of like, whatever, dude. Then you don't believe 3.5 years. Go do another show, because this is about 6 weeks. Yes, this is around my 6-week time. It's when I realized they were at a camp, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole bunch of story there, and I'm not going to get into all that, but this is high emotion time for me, like worry. I'm over there at night on kind of my first, and I went a good walk, man, and I ended up realizing where this growl is coming from and stuff, and the branches snapping and stuff. I was standing there with the camera out one moment talking about them and saying, I don't think there are much around here, you guys, and stuff. I promised you I said that. And then I went up, I cut off of the trail and cut through, climbed to the top of the dike because I realized I want to see if they're cutting through corn. So I went up, it was corn season, and blah, blah, blah. So here we are to listen at 3 seconds, baby growl. 5 seconds, big growl. That's a big one. Little, nothing. Tell me what noise it is, and you measure the vibes from it, and you'll see. Actually nice on the speaker.
What? Huh?
Did you guys hear this?
What you want?
Yeah.
Why you like that?
That was me going.
Can't you be nice?
Walking across the dike, getting in snug, terrified inside. Snap. Snap.
Why are you angry?
That's when I realized they're mad.
Why are you angry?
They're telling me off.
What?
The speaker's doing good.
Why are you doing that?
Get to live through it, guys. Stand up to them. Don't be feared. I think that's a wrong direction. I tell my kids,
I will leave.
tell them your information, that they're not right, that you're okay to be there, and that you will leave. Or if you're allowed to stay there and you're camped and stuff, that they should be leaving because this is the human area. Talk to them just like that and see what happens. Here I stop again. You don't know if they're following you or like, what are you going to do? You're going to jump me now? Like, so I want to listen to that again. I don't know if you do, but I want to kind of relive that again. Try to be with me here, guys.
What you want? Why are you like that? Can't you be nice? What is the matter? Why are you angry? Why are you angry? What? Why are you doing that?
Sorry about that, guys. Whispering it, eh?
I will leave.
And that, it's amazing, guys, in a whisper tone, that is part of the chemistry. I believe so. I think almost thought I heard something right near the right there a little bit, but it could be from the highway, it could be from different things going on, so I'm not going to speculate on it. But from that spot right there where I am in this truck here is when I realized advantages that they have.
I'm going to try to talk kind of fast here. Maybe not, or I'll just blank out lots just to make sure you got it. There's wind going on and stuff, but this is really important discovery. You see that waterway?
And 100% now, for where I stand, you guys, this mountain right there will have such... I've driven up and down this road since then and stuff. Its clan movement there's a clan movement, and it's everywhere.
Follows the mountain range and does whatever it does way down, right? And you can see how wide it is.
Look where I live.
It comes right here. Yeah, make sure.
See my back.
Here you can see where this tree growth is, where that tree leaning is happening, and it looks like it's touching branches. Another tree not on the other side, though. And then there's even the bridge right there, and then that water canal. You see it through there, where it's just a big, kind of a spot on the other side, though. And then there's even the
where I'm pointing right now. I just wanted to point that out. That's the Waterfall clan over there.
Bridge right there. Water
That
canal.
mountain.
You see it through there, where it's just a big, kind of a slew of it, I believe. It might have another trail going that way.
So I'm just pointing out how
that way.
It works as a fence all day.
Quite I guess at people's
Let's see
yards.
if we get any view up here.
People's yard. I don't know what happens behind their yard though, where the water flow is. So I'll do a quick turn this way. So you see what you have here is you got this whole mountain range here. And
love my old truck.
Why this is such a big discovery.
Look at this, guys. I've had 3 of these experiences now. And there's probably rarely anybody who's had one. Especially with the collection of each time the 2 significant birds. Look at that look in front of us too, eh? Got some nice dark looking evergreens there, I tell you. In the bushel there. In the thick of it. That'd be the natural pace of the video. So this would be this is my third experience that I'm about to have of finding a burial, sacrament of some sort, or losing the wording here, but you know what I mean, like a,
What you could call real or fake.
That's a question. That's when I was first questioning the ravens and stuff, trying to figure out stuff. People have relationships with ravens and crows too, guys. Just remember that. Look at that up on the hillside. There's that. Oh, a dark spot up there, eh? What's going on with all that stuff?
You could hear the sound of that.
Ooh, that's black. See up on the bankside, I'm sure, right?
I just had my sandals on.
Here, their guard would be down because of my ignorance. This is the place. Not the day, but the place. Months earlier, I realized I actually have a capability of tracking the being somewhat. Because I spent 21 days at the other location, got lost on my way there one day, ended up here 3 months ago, about from this video, I think. I'm not sure, I can't remember exactly. Might have been even the summer before or something, but the difference I'm doing here is I'm on the other side of the ravine.
Work has been going on in here.
There's a ravine back here, and that's where I found the other eagle, burial. There it is.
Burial. There's another eagle and another heron skull.
3 times. Eagle
Beautiful.
and heron skull, guys. One set of baby, young, and then
Raven wings, I think, again.
2 set
maybe,
adult.
maybe not.
The vertebrae there and everything of the heron.
It's a big eagle. A fairly big heron. That is amazing after talking about that.
Right, I think I was telling the story earlier or something on either this part of the video or other one about how I found the other one on the other side of the. But the one on the other side, guys, had also a shedding. I used to raise snake, maybe a woodpecker. Now I know. See, this camera's not a bad camera, and it's just not working that good anymore. Like, I've not been using it because it's not. Like, that's a pretty nice shot back there.
See it there.
Oh, there's the woody right there. You see him?
Something's bothering him.
Is there anything different in that shadow down there now, guys? Maybe more tree pulled in or anything like that. That's what you look. Sometimes, a little uncomfortable. Pull a little bit more shade in, or start to peek around the corner more and stuff.
He's just trying to entice somebody.
I wonder if I was.
He's out.
See, I'm wondering where I was at this moment, because I like that I kept this corner in the picture. And listening to myself talk, I'm not sure if I was necessarily doing it on purpose, or if I was trying to catch that corner at the same time as the woodpecker, because the pecker was up on one of these trees, I believe.
He's just trying to entice somebody.
I think I was.
Maybe it's that.
Without bringing in conversation at all or anything. So even back then, guys, it's focal point. So, okay. Back Just looking yet in my profile. I think I've looked through that one and I can't remember. Oh, this is a pretty cool one, interesting one. Sorry, guys. So basically, guys, I'm in this park. It's a new park. There's kids all playing here at the playground. I'm going to do this where we're going to get better picture. And we can just hop us ahead if we want to. Now look over at this tree that is positioned close to where all the kids are playing. I don't know where to leave myself, so I'm just going to chuck myself down in that corner. That's a pretty good spot. Started looking at the tree and I was just like, I don't know, something drew me to end up deciding to film it. So as we're filming this, I decide at points to start walking in closer. So let's do a couple of jump forwards. Could imagine now watching this in slow motion later. How more refined it, where I'm sure you could pick out more what's going on in there. Weird, some of the stuff, right? I'm probably walking at that point, guys. Look at that there. A couple of eyes, maybe? Blink for us or something, buddy. Come on. See, my camera has a laser there. You see that light? It's touching it at times, what I think is something. Like, I don't like that about that camera. It's kind of like, well, these things, I'm sure, understand that pretty darn good when a laser's pointing at them. Is that actually on the going out there, Like, I can't remember if I do see it or not. I've tried to figure the thing out. Okay, well, I'm going to just pop ahead. Oh, what's that all about? You see that twinkle in there? Is that just shine of light coming through? Because it was pretty jazzy. And look at how slow we really are moving. Like, once again, right now, we're filming. Oh, look at that on the left, just above me. It almost looked like a gorilla, man. Are you guys even still out there? I don't have my conversation on. Oh, hey, guys. Good to see peeps are out there enjoying it. It's kind of weird. I go through uncomfort. Like, I'm sitting here with my head cranked and all that kind of stuff, not wanting to move the camera at all or anything to bug you guys. And then I just recall, oh, yeah, won't even affect them. Look at that, hey, guys. This is some sweet-ass, pardon the language, footage. Something going on there. Real far away. Well, I'm going to do a big jump. You ready? Because I think we'll be closer. So hopefully when I zoom, we will get better pictures. This was still rookie stages of this camera. I did not, like, now I know how to get super zoom out of it. Whoops, dang it. And I didn't before. This darkening of those eyes or whatever that is up there, eh? Centerish eye, up. But Ian finds it. He decides, I'm going to shoot my green laser light at them. Okay. Let's jump to the next level. It's pretty incredible that it seems like the camera never is calming down. Like, you know, where's that little shutter thing in the camera? You know where it picks up on it a little bit? Go seeing that white light maybe in there or something. I don't know. At this point here, I was not on any glowing understanding light eye understanding, nothing like that. I'm pretty sure. I might add a little bit of ideas, red eyes or something, different little things that I may have already kind of figured out or something, but yeah, that's, so that light right there, guys, it very well can be that one that's kind of shining just above me to the right a bit, very well could be just how the tree's blowing around a little bit and the blue sky behind coming through. But I also want you to truly understand that they do those mimics of light too. They don't just mimic street lights down your road, or if you live up on the mountainside and you're looking down the valley, if they're into tripping you, they'll have certain lights that you'll suspect that it must be that street light, or understand it as that neighbor's house light, or different things like this, or a car driving through the valley, or whatever type thing. But that's part of their game too. They just enjoy doing that, and I wouldn't doubt it if they'll do it in cases where they don't even know people are. I don't know about on that stage, but I know that they do their mountain chores of farming and stuff in many different environments. They do it in places where we don't even, don't really step foot. So it's kind of, what's the sense of all those duties? So in other words, it's not always for a cover up for the humans. It's going to be part of that thing that the natives will be able to say that, how they say that they're spiritual beings to some degrees, or whatever they say there. That was confirmed in my view in some respects, that spiritual in the sense that they're duty-fied to just be doing some duties. What is that going on there? Is that just... Yeah, that's just how things are looking, I guess. Duty-fied where... I don't know. Where it feels like it should be referred to as more of a spiritual being. But I don't like it when people try to take away from humans and give to any other thing, or to take away from another thing and give it to humans or whatever. I don't like it either way. We are what we are. They're going to be what they are. A lion is what it is. A bear is what it is when it comes to being its own spirit. education and stuff and temperaments and all that kind of stuff will come into facts too, into reality. Animals are just born with different temperaments, and same with humans. People take spirit out of us in some respects because maybe of our bad deeds or something at times. But it's pretty interesting to have a reflect down in there, eh? So I say that was a pretty fun time, that in particular experience there. All this shaling and stuff and rocks coming down and all that kind of stuff, guys. Just be aware that when you see all the vining and stuff of where trees are peeled, and you look up at some of your trees and there's no leaves, they're stripped on some of the branches and stuff. It's all part of their techniques. It's not like one bird's going to come there and just cover taking off those 80 leaves off of that one in particular twig. And right here is when I kind of throw it at the same time about their control. And it's kind of neat because the thumbnail is on the moment when a control stone or whatever was tossed out there, and the bears kind of go, because beyond that green right behind the time there, 157, is asphalt. This is all beside the road. So he's looking at it like, what the heck? And then moments later, he's heading up behind him there, going up the hillside. I should make it back to that. That is a neat looking, it's just a mission too. Alrighty guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Oh look at, here's the slow speed of this one. We can do it super slow speed. Oops. What am I pushing? So what's this guy? Yeah, look at that guy right there. See that? A little orangutan coloring? No? It's almost like you can see some eye movement or something a little bit there. Watch here, something coming in a little bit, popping around the corner a bit. See, what we're doing is the camera's actually going left at kind of normal camera speed. And hop it ahead a bit. Get it closer to our main subjects here. But here, you might be able to see something in behind those trees in between. This is actually two different trees right here. Oh, look right there. I'm going to go back just a second here, guys. So finger glasses. You see that set right there? Watch those. See a little bit of finger coloring here? See, this is a tree right here. This is another tree way back there. And we're zoomed very far. So watch those watch right here beside my red dot. I think that was a guy peeking. I'm going to go a little bit further. Did I go the wrong way? Oh well. Not going to worry about it right now, guys. What am I doing here? past them? I don't think we went past them. Guys, I went past them. Sorry about that. All that effort and we were way past them. That's going the wrong way. Big head. This is a different one than I thought it was on. Bigfoot head. Why do I got... Oh, I just have a different picture on the front of it. Same bigger peeking up at me. Family arm's reach. See some shifty going on here. Whoops. Like that little one right there. I like that. Right here, I swear, man, those are finger glasses right there. And behind here. Peeking around. And they use them as like, more like where they feel the look is more like trees is what I get for an answer. I wonder if that's the one I was talking about. Peeking up. That was a few years back, wasn't it? Just 1 year ago, but I think the video is pretty old. I want to check out this one here. The lusciousness. This is the Popo clan, I believe. Yeah, this is when I was discovering that you can actually find movement in the day in the trees. And this is the lower Popo clan, and it was before I was even really commenting that place, right? But you see all those darker spots and stuff, right? I started realizing something's really going on up there and stuff. So I decided to do this, and when you zoom this, what you get to see is you get to see movement of little things going, say, from this dark pile to this dark pile, from this dark pile to this dark pile, from this dark pile to that one, that one, and you get to see them, and you actually, when you come in on the zoom, you get to realize. I think one of my favorite spots was kind of in a V here, where I would find a lot of the action. And all that it could seem to me is little ones moving over to other bigger ones, and you study the tree movement, you study the branch movements for the wind and stuff, because how you literally feel the wind back where you are and how it is in between right here and how it is up there is not all the same. So realize that you have to put effort into really getting the understanding of what the wind is up there. You can't lick your fingers, stick it up in the air and go, oh, okay, it's 2 degrees north at 5 knots. And figure it's doing the same thing up in the tree. It's just not, wind does not work like that at all. So, one heavy windy day, different story. But then you just see the same uniform of the branches most of the time. On one heavy blowing day, the branches will kind of just tell you one story the most of the time, same story. So through doing this, you guys might already notice that there are shadows changing within the look of the video, and that's legitimate stuff you're seeing there. So this one here is the full video of my first encounter, 13 days of 21 days. Remember I was saying 21 days, and then I in that area. That other area was about 22, 23 days. And this is before days. Ended up coming back and changing the name of it to Sasquatch and so forth there, because of the work of what I'm doing. But this was...
Just gonna look at your alley, Jack. Okay, just gonna look at your alley, buddy. Is that alright?
This was right around this time that I started doing this research.
Is this an alley too?
Yeah, I've gotten into a couple of scuffs.
It's okay, I'm just looking.
And they're very interesting, because they're almost controlled wounds.
You know what?
They seem very
I think
controlled.
That might be fang bites. My finger, that's center to center is probably close to 1 3/8 apart there. Okay, Jack, I'm gonna lift this, okay? It's okay, buddy. Can I see? Can I see, Jack? Hey, buddy. You gotta wake up a little bit. It's okay. Here? Yeah, there he is. That's my boy. I'm just gonna go like this, okay?
I think he actually was under the weather.
Yeah.
And
This is
here,
the side with the scars, bud.
you get to get
The
an idea
scars
of what
are
it
starting to
is.
clear
See
up
those two
maybe a
scars
little
there?
bit.
And
Unless he's just got scars also on the other side. I don't know. if
no,
we're gonna be able
you still get to
this
see where it
scar.
comes up
Guess
there.
we are
Watch.
still seeing it a bit. There we go. Oops, if I had you in the wrong spot again.
This is days and days into it. You see hair falling out of it because it's
Should have done
healed.
this sooner. But
I
you
should have
know,
done it sooner,
you hope
but
things just clear away and you have other answers. That wrapped right around. They were a couple of layers of skin deep. Sorry, Jack.
and it wrapped all the way from
And
like almost where his
So
testicles
it
would
was
have
this
been if he
side for
had them,
that.
all the way up around his ribs.
Another bite wound because I was showing you one there.
And then there's still a gross one to see.
I think he was attacked a couple of times from behind now. On the other side is it where it's really very, very ugly.
Because it
Jack,
seems
you
like
gonna
two
get up, buddy?
fangs,
you
and
gonna
the
get
other
up
side
and
you'll
let us see?
see.
Come on, you get up and let us see, okay, for the camera? Can you? Thank you, buddy.
On the other side you'll see that it's it was like it would have been the bottom side of the mouth or something. And it's directly across. It's the infect part.
So, I took a look at it, and obvious with the infection going on there, it's very bad. I can see some swelling in it now. Yeah, you come on.
So, kind of blows my mind. Oh, look at the comforts of home, man.
Yeah, so it's just some freaky stuff going on. That's weird. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. Gotta make sure I keep my hand away from this sensitive area. This is just scarring from when he was young. He lived with another dog, and I think when they got into it a little bit rough. Alrighty, buddy. Okay, people.
There we go.
I think he was attacked a couple of...
It's about me. So, guys, thanks for coming. Oh, I'm going to go on here. There's probably way too much for me to be able to read. Crap. Should have, could have, but you know what? He was a survivor, and he healed himself, no problem. He took care of it. Alrighty, guys. Anything, please share them. And yeah, that's all I got to say.